Hello, it is Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday puzzle, so we're midway through the week, and that means the puzzle is getting a little bit trickier, so it'll probably have a bit more resistance than it did the last 2 days. And those were pretty straightforward puzzles on Monday and Tuesday. So let's see how we fare with Wednesday. I'll just get right into it. I've been asking people about the pace. And well, I said I'll get right into it, and now I'm saying something else. Parties with glow sticks is raves. Let me just pause this, otherwise I'll get distracted. I was asking people about the pace of the last couple puzzles in the comments, and people are generally seem on board with the way I was doing it, which is to narrate each clue but not necessarily drag it out unduly on those easier puzzles. And I think that makes sense. That way, over the course of the week, we've got a range of video lengths, and it sort of corresponds to the challenge of the puzzle. There were a few people who wanted me to maybe slow down a bit. A couple people who wanted me to go faster, which I think is probably not appropriate, because, what's the point of this if I'm not narrating it? So I'll probably stick to that pace on those early in the week puzzles, and then the farther we get into the week, the more I'll be talking through the process. And, additional feedback is always welcome. So let's look at these crosses here with, maybe that wasn't raves. Oh, no, it was. Okay, counterpart of FF, 5 down here. Now, my first thought here would have been that this would have been PP or PPP, because I was thinking of this as the musical score notation fortissimo. And the way that works in musical score notation is F is fortissimo, which means loud. FF is more loud, more fortissimo. FFF. And in theory, you can keep going. And there are some composers who have put an outrageous number of Fs. And then the counterpart of that is pianissimo, which is quiet. And similarly, you can keep extending that, sort of the way you can extend a post-script after a letter. Anyway, that's not what this is. It's a counterpart of fast forward, which is rewind. Bikini, for example, probably an atoll, not the article of swim gear, but rather the type of island, as in Bikini Atoll, where nuclear testing was conducted. Sound, not sure offhand. Amazon's Biz, here's one of my dreaded E answers. E-tail. Ugh. Do not like it. Nobody says that. Not a real word, Will Shorts of the New York Times. Is out. This is probably sleeps. If you're out, you're sleeping. A towering figure of architecture. Eiffel or Eiffel, as in the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Sound. Why am I not seeing that? Clamoring for the Bonfire of the Vanities. Okay, so the Bonfire of the Vanities, I think, was Tom Wolfe. I'm not sure what the clamoring bit is yet, but this will clearly be a theme answer, so that's fun, that's exciting. Look forward to watching that come together. Subject for some aspiring bilinguals. I think I addressed this last week. This is English as a Second Language, ESL, a common acronym in the crossword. Old-fashioned taste. I'm not sure, let's look at some crosses. Creatures that have the densest fur of any mammal, up to 1 million hairs per square inch. That is interesting. I don't know the answer to that, but I will be curious to see it when we learn it over time. Hayes with 3 Grammys as an Oscar would be Oscar. No, wait, sorry. Isaac Hayes. I was completely thrown by the Grammys and an Oscar in there. That's Isaac Hayes, not Oscar Hayes. Good God. Lady Lazarus, poet Sylvia. It's probably Sylvia Plath. Let's look at this clue, because that's sort of unusual. They can help you get out of a rut, for short. That would be AAA, the American Automobile Association. One of 20 on the Titanic, presumably lifeboat. Wow. That is shocking. Predisposition is a bent. If you have a bent towards something, you're predisposed to it. Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is not, because that makes this look bad. Exam with logic questions, for short, is probably the LSAT, which I think is something you take maybe in law school or something. I've never taken it, uh, but I think that's what it is. So let's look back at this predisposition. I actually don't know. No, let's look here. So sound is valid. If something is salad, something is valid. It is sound. When I was looking at this clue earlier, I wasn't sure if it meant sound in this sense, or as in solid, or if it meant sound as in a noise, or if it meant sound as in the act of making noise. But it's valid. Selling someone on the importance of being earnest. So the importance of being earnest is Oscar Wilde. So we can put that in, and clearly this is part of the same theme answer as that wolf one. You may well be seeing what the pun is. I'm not seeing it just yet, but let's keep going. One-time popular blog that covered Manhattan gossip. Gawker. Prior to their destruction at the hands of Peter Thiel and Hulk Hogan, one of the strangest tag teams in legal history, I would say. A group with lodges. This is probably the Elks, the Fraternal Order of the Elks. They sort of, I guess they're kind of similar to the Masons. I don't know much about them. I think they're more of a sort of civic-minded organization. R&B's Blank Brothers, the Isley Brothers, I would imagine. They're a bit of a stretch. Not sure that's too long to bother with right now. Kindle, e.g., or a hint to this puzzle's theme. I think we've got another E answer in here because I think a Kindle, what it wants is e-reader. And that's hint to the puzzle's theme. So you know what I think this means is both Wolf and Wilde are authors, and so author connected to reader, and they've got E's on the end of their name. And when you remove the E, you get an ordinary English word, Wolf and Wilde. So maybe the E's, maybe I'm more forgiving of the E answers in this puzzle because they tie into the theme. So I may well retract my criticism. Let's look at this cross because it's so close here. Big name in jeans is Lee, as in Lee's Dungarees. Portuguese title with a tilde, probably Sao for saint, as in Sao Paulo. Cusps would be edges. My word, that could be a few things. Often skipped parts of podcasts would be ads, much to the dismay of the podcasters in question, presumably. Course, I'm not sure offhand. Dashboard abbreviation is probably RPM for revolutions per minute. Humorist Bombeck would be Irma Bombeck. Let's look at this. They're a bit of a stretch. Yeah, yoga. I saw the letters and thought it was yoga pants, and it turns out it is yoga pants. My word, I still don't know offhand. Any other place besides here? Question mark. That may well be where else. Genesis creator. Now, your first thought here would be the book of the Bible, but I think it's actually the video game console, the Sega Genesis. My word, maybe yoga pants is wrong because this could be G or something, G-E-E. Hair color of about 2% of the world's population, red. Creatures that have the densest fur of any mammal. What is this? Sea otter. So yoga pants is certainly incorrect. Whoops. Let's get rid of that. Yoga, I don't know. What is that? My word is G. This is sea otters. Yoga poses. Very good, very good. Gold insignia of the armed forces. I'm not sure. Essential things in quotes, so it's a bit of a pun. So let's say oils, essential oils, a common phrase. Coarse. Oh, I see. Coarse probably means earthy, as in coarse language is sort of earthy language. You're being a bit rough. You're not being necessarily incredibly profane, but you're a little coarse, a little earthy. Spot to store a confederacy of dunces. Oh, who is Confederacy of Dunces? Is it Lawrence Stern? But that doesn't fit with oils. But oil, I could just be misremembering the author of the Confederacy of Dunces. I probably am. But for now, let's get rid of oils because it's not really, it's out in the open there. It's not really doing anything yet. So let's not take the risk. Lay figure. Not sure. Blank goes there. Who goes there, presumably? If you're not fooled by someone or something, you are on to them. A curse is a hex, as cast by a hag from one of last week's puzzles. A lay figure is a hen, because a hen lays an egg. A people person, perhaps, is an extrovert, I think. Oh no, essential things here is, okay, I'm sure I got Lawrence Stern incorrect with Confederacy of Dunces. I think I'm thinking of Tristram Shandy, is the book I'm thinking of. Some genes features, I don't know, actually. So essential things probably is oils, though. Babe or Wilbur in film. They're both pigs. Piglets, I guess? Yes. So another tense lesson here. This says Babe or Wilbur in film. Now, because there are two of them, your brain might sort of skip past the specifics of the language and think this is a plural, so you can put an S on the end. But you can't because it's Babe or Wilbur. So you're referring to either one of these characters, not both of them collectively. So either one of them is a piglet, not piglets. That kind of thing can trip you up if you don't watch out for it. So some genes features are rips, because some genes do come pre-ripped. I'm going to skip that other one for now. Battle with clearly defined sides. Oh, maybe I got something wrong here. I think I must have. With 14 down, what Finn might mean. Let's look. I haven't looked at this yet. Oh, C61 across. So we don't have, oops, not really sure what that is yet. Let's keep going. Positive review of a Nancy Drew mystery. Oof, who wrote Nancy Drew? I have no idea. I'm sure I know the name somewhere in my brain, but not one I know well. Jingle Bells contraction is probably o'er the hills we go. Architect born in Guangzhou. Okay, this is not Piglet. This is wrong. After all that talk, the tense lesson, the singular and plural, that holds true. But I don't think it's Piglet, because architect born in Guangzhou, I suspect, is I.M. Pei, a Chinese-American architect who, well, now, of course, that I'm trying to, I can't think of any of his works, but he's an extremely famous and successful architect. Blank Last Bow, Sherlock Holmes story. I'm not actually very familiar with Sherlock Holmes, but given the length and the letters, this may well be his last bow. And let's look here. 6 of the first 10 elements on the periodic table. Yeah, so here's a case where this will be a plural because we're referring to 6 of the elements, not one of any of the 6, but rather all 6 together. But let's look around. Oh, Baber Wilbur, I see. Could be a pet pig rather than a piglet. And it's probably the case that they're not, in fact, even piglets. I was probably misremembering the stories, and maybe at least one of them is a mature pig. I don't know. Pet pig probably is what that is. Let's look at this. 6 of the first 10 elements on the periodic table. I thought these might be gases because it fit, and now that we have that G, I very much suspect it is. To host something, this is a little goofy, but it comes up sometimes. This would be MC. Sometimes what you'll get in the New York Times crossword is sort of spelled out words that correspond to initialisms, like MC, which is short for Master of Ceremonies, but has become almost a word in its own right. You can say someone has MC'd that event. So that's what this is. A host. Oh, that's kind of nice. That's nice with this host right next to it. As I've said before, I always like those little bits of resonance, little echo, I suppose, is more accurate. This probably means a lot of, so it could be heaps. A positive review of a Nancy Drew mystery. So this is probably, Keene. Is it Carolyn Keene? Is that who wrote Nancy Drew? That must be what it is. And so now we see here our first completed example of this theme, which is a phrase, a common phrase, that is, in this case, positive review of a Nancy Drew mystery. So, Keene, she did peachy with this book. Gives the thumbs up is okays. I'm not crazy about okays, but it comes up sometimes. Now, wait just a second. I suspect that is hold on. Bothered terribly. I wonder if hold on could be hold it or something else. Let's get rid of that for now and look elsewhere. Singer of the titular song in 2012's Skyfall would be Adele. Let's go back up here. Gold insignia of the armed forces. I don't know. I don't know much about this subject matter, to be honest. Blank Zor-El, real name of Supergirl. Do not know that. Although, going back to here, I was just sort of looking at those letters again, and I suspect it's oak leaf. I'm not familiar with this insignia, but that would fit, and that seems like the kind of thing you get in insignia. And yes, here we go. Units of poetry are feet, as in poetic meter, is what that's referring to. Bothered terribly. This is probably ate at. Something bothered you. It really ate at you. A dance or a dip. Oh, that's nice. Salsa. This is particularly nice because this could be referring to salsa, the condiment made from tomatoes and chilies and that sort of thing, or the dance salsa, but also the dance salsa might have a dip in the dance itself, so that's kind of fun. Clear one's plate in a way, rinse, I suppose. And then let's look at these crosses. So we've got hold it for just wait a second, not hold on, and Kara or Kara, Zor-El, real name is Supergirl, which, I mean, Kara or Kara, that's a name, so that seems fine. Spot to store a confederacy of dunces. So, oh my goodness, why am I not remembering this author's name? It's driving me crazy. But let's look at some crosses. A conceptual framework, that's a schema. Battle with clearly defined sides would be us versus them, so that explains why we got this strange sort of collision of consonants here. Aristotle to Alexander the Great would be a tutor. To narc on is to rat on. Tony nominee Milo is probably O'Shea. This is tool chest. So I just didn't remember the author of Confederacy of Dunces straight up. And then with 14 down, what fin, this I now think this is French, what fin might mean, I think it means the end, which is a nice tie-in with a literary theme. The end, I think is what that is. A business plan is an agenda. Clamoring for the bonfire of the vanities. So surely this is something ing, wolf. Crying wolf. As in everyone is calling out for wolf. Crime drama set in the Midwest, Fargo. Could be referring to the television program or the film. Philosopher with a razor, Occam's razor is what this is referring to, Occam. William of Occam, I think, was the, I believe, monk and philosopher who formulated this. I think. Maybe he wasn't a monk, but I think he was. And that's, Occam's razor is the principle that says that the simplest or most straightforward answer is most likely the answer to a given solution or problem. A TV alien played by Robin Williams was Mork from Mork and Mindy in the 70s, I want to say. Okay, I got something wrong. Oh, Sylvia Plath, not Sylvia Plath, whoops. And this is wild pitch. Selling someone on the importance of being earnest, you're pitching wild, a wild pitch. Fast food fixture. I don't know. Oh, fryer, a deep fryer, for instance. A menu at un café would be a carte. French pronunciation, not so great. And a rascal is a stinker, and there's the puzzle. So indeed, that was definitely put up more resistance than the last 2 days, but not too bad. Had a few stumbles, but kept things going. Someone mentioned they liked when I did this sort of recap of the puzzle, so let's go back over this. This is a great theme. This is a really nice theme. In fact, I would say the puzzle in general, the New York Times crossword, has sort of been on a roll in the last couple weeks with respect to themes. Sometimes you can go a while without a good theme or really even a theme at all. Sometimes they're not very common, but they've been quite common over the past couple weeks. And this was a really good one. So we've got crying wolf, clamoring for the bonfire of the vanities, wild pitch, selling someone on the importance of being earnest, Tool Chest, a spot to store a confederacy of dunces, and Peachy Keen, a positive review of a Nancy Drew mystery. Really good. And then we had this, what I would ordinarily consider a slightly annoying e-clue, e-reader, but totally fine with it given the theme. In fact, all for it. And to be honest, e-reader is that's a completely standard word at this point. I don't consider e-reader a offensive in the same way I do e-tail. Not great. Really not a fan of e-tail. I don't think anyone says that. I don't think it's a word, but I give it a pass because because it's sort of tied in with the rest of the theme. So okay, fair enough. But yeah, a great puzzle. I really liked this. Just a little bit of challenge as we're deep into the body of the week here, but nothing too difficult really. And yeah, a good solid puzzle. Really liked it. Not super crazy about these sort of obscure test acronyms, but that's incredibly minor. No big deal at all. I thought this was a very good puzzle. Well done, Amanda Rafkin and Ross Trudeau, who I suppose co-constructed this puzzle. And as always, Will Shorts, who edited it. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will be back again tomorrow for the Thursday edition of my Daily Solve, and that's where we start to really get into what might be a trickier puzzle. So I hope you enjoyed today. I hope I see you again tomorrow. And with that, take care.